Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Are you guys ready? Okay, let's serve Uganda. As promised, we deliver. We are redefining the social media narrative, asking tough questions and holding your leaders accountable. We are non-partisan and break down having a conversation with Uganda.
We are the Mighty Drive. We hold debates that give you viable solutions. We bring to you people that Ivora is wanting to listen to. We are gender sensitive and give space to the unheard voices. Not forgetting the quote of the day.
We are live on our social media platforms, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Don't miss the debate behind the wheels and our studios. I
am Edgar Matthew Karuhanga
and Princess Luwe Delidian.
Expect in-depth analysis, credible, factual and authentic information. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Real issues, real talk. Jembadde itaita nsanza abasajja nga bagamba lwaki abala batukuula Farida lwaki mukuula abasajja
omusajja baba tebamukudde asanyuka busanyusi n'akuwa ssente kati bw'alaba nga tafunye kyayagala n'alowooza mbu wamukudde aba yazikuwadde oba tewamukudde.
Okay, Lydian, lwaki mwagala abasajja abakulu?
Nabo batwagala naye fetubagala lwakuba tubategekera future.
Okay, tutegekera future. What he say? For more insightful topics, yes, keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. Remember, Snap Talk airs every Saturday, right from 6 to 7, with your girl Teddy Tenjo. But I never come alone. I come with the two beautiful girls.
Princess.
Meanwhile, we have a new home. I'm super excited. What do you think of our new home, Farida?
I love it.
I just love everything.
Yes, let's keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
A good evening to you, all our viewers. Welcome to the Alternative Dig Talk. We are here to redefine social media narrative. This is a wonderful program that we have brought to you. It is called the Diaspora Link. This program will look at the plight of Ugandans, our brothers and sisters, who are working and living abroad. These people have gone through a lot of issues. And I want to remind you that one day, one time, you might find yourself to be among the diaspora. One day, you'll also have to travel and leave Uganda and perhaps work or stay in the country outside. We found it so imperative and so important that we should design a program that handles issues, that looks at issues that really affect our brothers and sisters that are no longer living here with us, but are living abroad. These are our parents, these are our fathers, these are our mothers, these are our sisters. They are very close to us, though we no longer stay with them. So in this program, we shall be looking at the duty bearers, those who are responsible to handle issues that really affect the diaspora. We know that you brothers and sisters who are out there, you also deserve the best. You deserve a life that is worth living. And we know that we can help you have a better life, even when you are not here with us. That is the program that we are bringing to you here on the Alternative Digitalk, and it will be aired every Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. So inform all your friends, inform all your colleagues that something that really touches you, something that is there to benefit you has come on the Alternative Digitalk. Please share this video right now. Share within your community members. Share with them the Alternative Uganda as our Facebook page. Today, we are so much privileged. We are going to be looking at human trafficking. We know some of you are out there. You were perhaps trafficked into where you are living right now. Some of you were taken by people, and right now you no longer have your passports. Right now you no longer have any document attached to you. Perhaps you are a victim of trafficking. That's why today we are going to see what has our government done, what has every Ugandan done to make sure that we end this vice of human trafficking. It is our responsibility, and that's why we've come here today to be tackling such issues, to make sure that this vice comes to an end. I'm not alone in the studios today. I am so privileged to be hosting wonderful people in the studio, and I know you are going to enjoy this show. It is going to be so educative, so inspiring. I know some of you will have to rethink your decisions after watching this show. In the studios, I'm having Commandant Agnes Igoye. She's the Deputy National Coordinator of Prevention of Trafficking in Persons. I will ask her to greet us and say hi to the audience.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me, and to all of you who are listening to us, thank you for tuning in. I'm looking forward to a very, interactive, and I hope that whatever we're going to say and your feedback will be really for the betterment of all of us and all of you in the diaspora. Thank you for viewing.
Thank you. You are welcome. Thanks for honoring this invitation and making it to our maiden show. To our viewers, it is our maiden show. Wow, we are so much excited. Once again, I'm Nixon Segawa, the host. We are also having my brother, my colleague, my dear friend, Abdallah Kayonde. He is the founder and executive director of Migrant Workers Voice. Let him also greet us and say hi.
Dear viewers and followers, I'm so glad to be the first one hosting this show. I will always be reminding you that our rights as migrant workers really matter. So we have to be informed before you blame anyone. That's why we are here, to keep informing you. Thank you, Nixon, for inviting me to be part of this show.
Indeed, you're welcome. And indeed, we are here to inform. Before we began, we had a very short chat here. And we are saying that some of our brothers and sisters are so funny. You speak and speak and speak and speak, but some never listen. But we are like, perhaps even if we get 1 out of 10, if one person rethinks their decision of being trafficked and they escape, it's better. Perhaps it will be a life worth living if we leave this earth and we've saved at least one person. On that note, I know we might be talking about this animal that some of you have never heard about. You could be a victim, but you don't know that you are perhaps a victim. I'll begin from the expert. What is human trafficking?
Well, that is a very good question.
Yes.
And human trafficking is actually defined in our Prevention of Trafficking Persons Act of 2009. And this definition is also mirrored from the UN protocol, Palermo Protocol. So trafficking is when it means the recruitment. You recruit, you transport, you transfer, you harbor a person by different means. You can abduct them, you can use fraud, you can deceive them, because deceiving on opportunities and all that, kidnapping, of course, you know, and you do all that, or even taking advantage sometimes of your power. That's why you find that even parents, you know, can give out their children. And you're doing all that, you're recruiting, transporting for the purposes of exploitation.
Okay.
So you recruit. So recruitment in different ways. That's why it can be an advert, can be through social media. Actually, the biggest recruiters right now are people you know. It's your relatives, it's your friends, because it's easy to trust them. And you do that for purposes of exploitation. So exploitation is different things. The most common one, which everybody knows, is sexual exploitation of labor. But we also have child marriage, by the way, is defined as trafficking.
Wow.
Forced marriage, trafficking. Removal of organs for transplant, but also for witchcraft, for rituals. That's why even female genital mutilation, because it's a form, because you recruit, you're removing an organ for rituals, you know, for somebody to become a woman. Okay? And all that, you know, slavery, things connected to slavery, all that is trafficking, not just sexual exploitation or forced labor that we see in the Middle East. So this is an expanded definition. Yes.
In your explanation, you talk about exploitation.
Yes.
Does that mean in transporting, in aiding, there has to be an end to it? It has to be exploitation.
Yeah, so that's the purpose in which, but when we're identifying victims of trafficking, we want to identify you even during the process. We don't wait that, oh, I've first been exploited. That's why you find when you pass the airport, for example, an immigration officer will ask you questions and tell you where you are going. You know, you don't have a contract, you know, who is receiving you at the other side, what are you going to do? So those questions are not just for free. They are trying to identify. Because the number one thing that victims of trafficking don't know is that they don't know that they are being trafficked.
Wow.
No victim of trafficking knows. You may tell them that, oh, you know, you may end up in sexual exploitation. They say, is it your body? But they do not know what they are going to do to this body. So they are lying to them that there are job opportunities, that it could be my luck. So no victim. That's why when we are training even immigration officers or law enforcement, because there's warning somebody, then somebody goes, then somebody gets damaged, then come back. We don't train them to say, you see, I told you. Because they actually did not know, you know. So something has already happened, unfortunately, you know. So some, they even coach them, because the trafficker will coach you to lie, even about your age. If you're traveling, or when you're getting a passport, they coach you even to lie to immigration officer that, we are just like these ones who passed the border points, you know, and gazetted. Yeah, we are just going here to Kenya, and yet they have a plan to get out of what? Jomo Kenyatta. That's why we tell Ugandans there's nothing wrong with you traveling abroad to work. There's nothing wrong. But what is wrong is for you to go when you've not gotten the right information. We want you to go in what? In a good, rightful way, when your rights are protected. Now, if you may recall, if I talk, because we are talking to the people in the diaspora, how labor externalization began. It wasn't government which began. It began with people going to Iraq, if you remember. People went to Iraq. You know, they came and splashed dollars around. So even the traffickers got excited. They knew that, oh, now we've hooked them.
Nice
and the
cars.
Ugandan with the dollar. These ones who went, they came back and they are flashing it around. So now these ones now, the traffickers know that then the deceit comes in. So when government realized that, hey, it's people are beginning to be, you know, affected. That's when now they said, no, we have to regularize this thing. If you realize along the way, there's even a time government stopped the export of domestic workers.
Around 2014.
They said, no. The exploitation is too much and we cannot monitor. But guess what? It became worse. It's like trying to stop water from moving. You can't. It will create another way. So traffickers would create. So then government said, no, let's keep improving.
Okay.
Yes. So now that's why we constantly, we are not, for example, we are not where we used to be.
Okay.
Yes.
We shall get back to that next time. I remember when the Iraq issue, when Ugandans were being taken to Iraq. In the first time, it was a bit organized. People were being paid.
Americans.
Yes, Americans, we are paying them. But now the stories that we listen in the Middle East are a bit devastating.
Yes.
Mr. Abdallah,
Yes.
is trafficking real? Is it really happening?
It is happening in Uganda, and I don't think government has done enough to sort it out. It may be not be sorted out completely, but biting on it, laying measures how to control involving sensitization, and also touching the tigers within government offices that are responsible to really watch. They are in these points where they have to control this, and they don't. They just let it pass. Like Madam has said, that water can
maneuver.
So we need hard concrete, something.
We shall really get to that point. We shall get to that point to see who has not done what. Because
the good thing is mentioning tigers, so we are interested to know those tigers.
We shall get to know the tigers, and perhaps we shall also get to know what the NGO world is doing and what is not doing. But really want to understand. Someone might be there and is wondering, is this animal called human trafficking? Is it around me? How can I detect it? How can I know that it's really happening?
To me, for Uganda's case, I think it can be very hard for someone to know that it's being trafficked due to the heated saucepan of joblessness, or maybe minimum wage is not there to cater for those who would have been better remunerated to stay. So they are all heated to take any way out. Once government has not sorted the issue of minimum wage, that's one. And also, because where they are rushing, or wherever they say, it is my body, it is my word, don't tell me, they are rushing for a greener, better paying wage. That is one thing that anyone cannot even understand. Even if you talk of human trafficking, they say, what are you talking about? You've not offered me anything here. Then numbers of the youth who are graduating day by day and becoming hopeless on the streets. Even when they try, I sometimes try to air out some small advice to government that there need to be some inclusion of youth and give them a chance, because they don't know. They really need your attention. They need your follow-up, and until they get to understand what you're telling them, to be responsible, to keep around. And at the same time, when you want your child to grow and maybe graduate well or study well, sometimes you escort with gifts and all stuff to make that baby really love the thing. And he does it. So Uganda seems to have neglected that, and in one way it is making everyone getting attracted to what we call wrong, that is human trafficking. And they're even giving in themselves to go. You tell someone all the signs and whatever you are trying to express, you are excited, you want to go to this country, but I think you are being trafficked. You say, no, this is my uncle, and he has tried everything here for me, and he's the one telling me to go the other side. So there's no way you can define it to be human trafficking, but it is human trafficking. So I believe there is a gap there that government needs to bridge. Needs to include these people. Yes.
All right. We all believe something has to be done to end this vice. When you talked of trafficking, as you were explaining, you hinted on house girls. Can you try to bring it home and we understand those forms of trafficking? And Yes.
That's a good question, and I'm glad he's talking government, because government means all of us, isn't it? Yes, which is a good thing. Because, for example, when they are recruiting over, social media, so government is not, or your minister or whatever, is not in your bedroom with you, because they have access to you 24/7 on social media. So it means that you also have a responsibility as a person, or you have a responsibility as a parent, or as a representative, somebody in government. And I also want us to be very careful when we define who is a trafficker.
That's
a
true.
trafficker is not that ugly-looking person you don't know. Traffickers are us.
Very smart.
I hope you know that. We have traffickers who are parents. We have parents who are giving up their children and selling their children, like in a market, in eastern Uganda, where a human being, a girl, is cheaper than a goat. I hope you saw that. A girl, to get a girl to take her at whichever cost, was less than 50,000. So we have to make sure that we understand that traffickers are in all spectrums. They are in government, they are in our homes, they are in schools. You've seen the pastors we've got, they're in church. You've seen the teacher, the headmaster whom we've given a life sentence recently.
Yes.
So I don't want us to think or to point. And what traffickers are very good at is that they are networked and they support each other. What tears us apart sometimes is that when they see us, pointing fingers. So this is a thing whereby we all have to own that, to know that we all are in it and we all have a responsibility where we are. That brings me to the forms we talked about. There are various forms.
Okay.
Now, before even, there is both internal and external trafficking.
Okay.
Now, domestic work, or what you call, because I don't like the word house girl. It's even demeaning.
It's demeaning, for sure.
The reason why many of the women are also exploited, even these ones in the Middle East, is because the work they do is demeaning. It's not even recognized as work, or even in our own homes. If you look at our homes here in Uganda, you'll find the person they call house girl is paid less than the shamba boy, the one cutting flowers outside.
And he's only cutting flowers.
Cutting flowers. So you
Someone
who is
only opening the gate.
Opening the gate is paid
Closing.
more. The moment you say house girl, in fact, even when the man is cooking, that's why they misuse even the word, they call them chef. Then even the money, changes. So until we start respecting work that is done by women in domestic work internationally, we are not going to stop trafficking in domestic work or among house girls. That is one thing. And let me tell you that if it was men doing housework and in the Middle East, you do now have a special envoy for men. You would see special envoy, you would see, hey, let me tell you, all these things you're talking, minimum wage, it would have risen a long time ago if it was men doing it. I am sorry, and you know it in your hearts. So even before we point fingers to the people outside, if you brought women who are doing domestic work, and they range, even including children. You know that 10-year-olds, 9-year-olds are in our homes? Here in Uganda, even in Kampala, if you brought them in Kampala Road and told them to tell you their problems, all these things we are saying in the Middle East are here in Uganda, and they are the majority. Now there is that. Then there's street begging also, by the way. It's a form of trafficking. When you're using people for illegal activities, if you use somebody to carry drugs, if you use somebody and put them in prostitution, if you use somebody, these street children who are begging, that's why you find the issue of Karamoja. They are trafficked, as far as, Nairobi, but now we are even seeing them Somalia, and also in different towns in Uganda. That's a form of what? Trafficking. Then the whole, forced marriages are there. There are even people who are taken out of the country are into forced marriage. And I can tell you that I have 30 victims of trafficking who are my advisors.
Oh.
And whenever I speak with them, I've met them in like a big room like this. 30. Why did you end up here? They will tell you, many of them are single mothers. The men in their lives have abandoned, whether boyfriend, whether husband, name it. the family unit, we really have to go back to zero. It's disintegrated. Abasajja tebakyayagala kumanya.
So it's men that have abandoned.
The women, I can assure you, will tell you that. Will tell you that. Look at sexual exploitation. Look at what is happening during lockdown. They are not in the Middle East. The girls who have got, I went to Kamuda, a sub-county in Soroti. Over 1,000 girls, children are pregnant. And this is statistics from the health centers. I used to think people are exaggerating. Over 1,000 in one health centers in that sub-county. I have moved around the country and I've done media briefings. You've seen, and I've seen how it is. Now, in a place in Budaka, we found that there are now men, because when you marry off your daughter, you're given bride price. Now it is outlawed for you to return the bride price if the marriage doesn't go well. Now what some men are doing is marrying off. There's actually a young girl, by 14. Then when the marriage doesn't work, even the parents, the father goes and interferes and removes. She has married her off 5 times and got cows 5 times. So it's a business. Parents, I'm talking about mothers and fathers, they are now telling their children, it's a common language now in the Budaka there, that gendo lete sukari, go and bring sugar, and doesn't give you money. So now the girls know when the parent says gendo lete sukari, go and bring sugar, it means go and sleep with somebody and get money to bring home. We've reached that level. The children in Karamoja, where I went, it is parents pushing them to go. You know what is motivating them to move? Mattress, saucepan, because when these ones return and that we get out of the bus and you have a phone. So even when you're saying that unemployment, you know, people who are in employment are going, do you know that there are people who sell land and sell property to go abroad? It also means that there are some Ugandans who go abroad and return home. They don't tell the truth. Some. They want to show that life abroad is very great. It's, you watch always, they call them basama. I'm just generalizing. You know that abroad you can get a designer shoe for free when it has been thrown in the dustbin, that you can pick it and wear it. You know that when you come back to Uganda and you've been in a country where there's a lot of winter, that you come back when you're brown because you've been dressed in winter, kukubye. You come when you are brown, but for us that brown means that you have been, it's a good thing. When you are abroad, you're going to start speaking English like that, then you say, hey, hi. Here it is like, hey, you've arrived. So you come with your designer, which is free. You come when winter has hit you so bad and you're brown and you're speaking that English. You come with $100 and you go to you go to a bar and just splash it around. Only 2 weeks like this, then you run away.
Okay, we shall pick it up from there. Mwami Abdallah, kyogezako okugamba nti bye batusuubiza ebweru tebiriyo.
Bye basuubiza ebweru gye biri. Naye
ayogedde ku ngatto ze balonda obulonzi ne bajja wano ne beeyagala.
Yes, wali abo. Ate bangi.
Ababeereddwa ebweru
n'akomawo
basobola naddala mu Europe abalondalonda ebyo gye bali bangi. Naye kati mu UAE batono abasinga bali confined. N'enamba esinga kafara system naddala domestic workers ebakwata talina budde obulondalonda okujja nga bamuwadde ate kyalonze kibbe oba kyakutte nga tebamuwadde
n'abamu bakomawo wano ne bamansa
mwebali abamu abakuba bannaabwe ku mutwe n'abayiya abalala mu ngeri yemu kino kye twogerako ekya trafficking nti abamu balimbira ddala bannaabwe ng'ali eri bweru naye nga naye tali bulungi n'awayali nga bali wano n'abajja ku mulamwa. Era ekyo nze ndowooza bwe bumu ku bunafu oyinza okugamba gavumenti ngigamba nnyo naye ekituufu kiri nti gavumenti yenze ensonga lwaki ndi wano ate nayo eteekeddwa okuwulira bino bye njogera bwe batebitwala then gugisinga kubanga bwe tugamba nti omwana ali ebweru ba migrants abannauganda for instance bakukusa bannaabwe bwe tuba tulwanyisa human trafficking. How do we bring these victims ababa n'aba culprits okubanga nabo bategeera ekibi kye bakola? Do we leave them and assume abo batambula na visit visa? They are just there. Is there any system or way?
Yes.
We have.
Some have locked up. Yeah, I'll give you. Yeah.
Je tugezezaako okulaba nti abantu bano bategeera ekibi kye bakola era be basibye mu kkomera tulinayo bameka nti ono trafficker abadde prosecuted era ne case evaayo eryalidde nti ko ntugiragane amawulire gonna nga bwe tuvaayo nga tususpendinga company ate ezaabano zetwawa license amawulire ne gaba vibrant nnyo twagala tukwate traffic omu tufaafaagane naye banne bonna tebajja kuddamu kukola muzoogo ekyo nno kijja tuyamba n'okuimprovinga naye bwe tuba tetukikoze nga tukikolera eno kubanga bw'otunulira omuzigo trafficking oguli ku kisaawe abantu bennyini abakulu abali mu uniform ogenda owulira ng'omwana akugamba nti mukulu ye yakoze eki nsinala musirikale waffe yennyini twaki teyaŋŋamba ng'alaba kikyamu kale embeera eyo bwe batekyuse nze ndowooza
kyogamba nti ne companies neno zetuwandiisizza okuba nga zitwala bannauganda ate nazo ziri bamu kuba traffickers.
Waliwo kye bayita system trafficking madamu yatera okirwanyisa nga kampani ezimu zenyigidde mu bikolwa ebyo by'okuexploitinga kampani esobola okulimbalimba abaana bano nekuba akalango k'emirimu bonna ne basolooza obukadde 100 mu wiiki emu ate neetabawa mirimu egyo abamu ne batikka nga tegiriyo ne batuuka eri ne batala abamu tukirabye nakonze waliwo kyempakanyiriza ddala nti gavumenti bwebanga emanyi etwala abaana bannauganda ebweru okukola mu ndagaano katugeze eri Saudi Arabia bayirato ey'endagaano ya buvunaanyizibwa tulowooze yali meant ku protecting bannansi n'oku preventing ebizibu bino oba okulaga ekintu ekyenjawulo ekyawula ku human trafficking eno gye tutayagala. When we talk of safe labor migration kitegeeza it is an opposite nti kiri bwe kiba kizze oluvannyuma lw'okukitegeera ffenna nti nze ne madamu n'abalala tutegedde nti waliwo embeera enyigiriza bannansi ey'emirimu eyabiki kakati tubategese tutya okulaba nti at least tebagwate mu miteeru yeno safe labor migration naye ate kye tuyita omuteeru nti ono omwana akukusiddwa ali prone okumu-exploiting eri ne bamugyamu ebibumba ne bamukola biki abato okutambulira omwo ba child labor n'ebirala ne babeera nga bayita mu miwaato egyo egitali screened bw'oba onookiziyiza oteekeddwa okuba nga kino kyotegese kiri complete otherwise bwe kiba nga kiri halfway ng'ate nakyo results zaakyo zifaanagana ng'ate kino kyoziyiza then ndowooza you are not doing enough.
So government eteeseteese
kubanga bw'otunuulira kusinziira yes bw'obuuza gavumenti muyina system eri robust oba eriwo nga eyamba abaana bano mudeployinga mu safe labor migration e Saudi Arabia tebaddeewo bwe baba nga bagezaako gifixinga it's fine. Ekyokubiri bw'abanga traffic atwala omuntu atalina insurance njogera ku labor issues atalina insurance kiina njawulo kinoono antwalidde mu kampani nga naawe sirina insurance nga ne bwenfuna obuzibu nfaanagana ng'eyakukusiddwa sirina yenna mpa backup ne baba boss antekinzeko advantage because the same bosses abakola trafficking eyo nga temutataddeewo system be bamu ate era abayingira mu system ya musanedi oba system yonna ebeerawo ne batumya abaana. That means government ng'emaze okuluma ne bagamba mwenna wano kati kitegeeza baba balina kutunula awo naye bw'oba ggwe nga naawe olina obunafu ku baana b'oleeta nga olaga nti tobateereddewo obutya bwogenda baprotectinga bagenda maliza bwennyini bayiga emize. Waliwo emize giri mu Saudi Arabia abaana bapookinga bannaabwe mu contract kati gwe bw'ombuuza ekyo gavumenti ya Uganda ekirowoozaako kyo bayakirekera Saudi abaana abo bapookinga bannaabwe babayigiriza kyatandikira mu kubapookinga ng'amugjayo n'amutwala n'apangisa n'atandika n'okubatunda mu ngeri endala kati ojja maliza noona n'amugjamu ekibumba era ng'akimugiddemu awo era ng'amutunze mu ngeri gyewamuziyiza e Uganda kuba gwe tosobodde kusaawo protection measures agenda maliriza atandise okwadima yalinga bw'anaabonaabona ennyo n'ayimidda mu kiyumba n'alaaja n'ayita kampani eyo gwe gy'ogamba gyewa license nga teyamba agenda maliriza agamba ndayira aga Katonda siriddamu kuyita mu kampani. In one way you are promoting trafficking. Kola kiri nga kiri complete kakati ono obeere nga naawe omuvunaana bulungi nti omwana awalirizibwa okuleka Saudi ewali safe nze kyendowooza nasala n'alinya nadde Dubai n'omubuuza Dubai gy'olaze mbutuufu kati gavumenti ogenda kutandika ginenyezaawo ogenda gigamba ki ogenze na visit visa yes olina liberty eya migration naye ate toyina empapula za ntuufu toli sure empapula ezigatta ku bukozi ogenda kuyiiya njiiye toomalire ku street toomalire mu kugaba by'otasobola awo we tutuuse.
I think okay ensonga ezo ntuufu nnyo era ekyamazima kiri nti wateekeddwa okubaawo ekikolebwa. But I want to understand, is the situation so worrying? The situation of human trafficking, what is the extent?
Yes and no. Because for me, if you ask me, for me, even if it is one person, it's not acceptable. And unfortunately, we are talking about where we are taking people out of the country. And if you're talking about domestic work, that's where the majority of trafficking cases are coming from.
Yongera tulambulira domestic and that internal trafficking. Abantu abamu balina abaana abateewaka bo tebakifaako nga trafficking.
Yes, wekiri wano kati ekiri wali kyoba olaba nti
tuteeka nnyo essira ku buvidiyo bwe tulaba eri ebweru
bwe natandikira ddala kyenasookeddeko ddala tumanyi nnyo nga bannaUganda pointing fingers ku bweru naye it starts at what? At home. Engeri bw'olaba engeri ba house girl ate kigambo ekyo sikyagala njagala domestic worker. Engeri bwe tulabirira ba domestic worker ewaffe tusobola kulowooza nti no kati magic eri kyoba olaba nti no abagenda ebweru kisinziira maka akigoyingiddemu. Ojjukira omwana eyakola babosi bo ne bajja ne bamukuba n'embaga n'abagereka najja abo gye bali naye okuba media bw'owulira bino baagala ebiriki ebyonoonese naye abaana bangi abagenda ne bagwira mu gundi mu nju ng'emituufu okitegeera naye tugamba ne bw'oba ogendedde mu kampuni kituyamba lwaki kubanga tumanyi kino eno kampuni gy'ogendeddemu if something ekintu bwe kikutuukako tumanyi wogenda ate ezo kampuni zikola deposit okitegeera kyoba olaba nti no baba balina okukomyawo kitwangwira than omuntu gwe bakukusizza nga tagendedde mu ki nga tagendedde mu kampuni ate ojja okiwulire ne kampuni bw'okola ensobi there's we did register and all that ojjukira when call announcement buli omu nagamba you know announcement kubanga it is easy kubanga we see systematic kubanga office jembera bwe tutandika okufuna gondi you know complaints. Yes tugamba owaye kino na kino na kino naye bw'oba ogendedde omanyi wali abatambula nga n'omuzadde tamanyi wali omuzadde ajja n'agamba munnaye mpulira mbu omwana wange yatusedde
njagala mukuba surprise nga ntuuse eri muweereza akamessage
nedda ne traffica n'abakukusa bagamba tobabuulira kubanga kano kakisako olaba ogendera mu gundi engeri bwetyo kyoba olaba nti nno obwa domestic work mulimu challenges nyingi newano waffe neeri gyogenze tesobola kuteekako police negenda buli n'omwana akolera awaka. It is different kwaba abakolera mu company oba ku airport oba ku ki kubanga omanyi ti nobova naffe wano bwogenda bambi bwogenda okola bosi wona akutabukira ogenda n'ogamba why kasita ngenda aka waliwo ne bosi wonyimunyigira si byagundi byokka naye wali different kubanga oluusi tolika wali tolika ne weather mbi olisi oli mukatuliki naye oli mbasiramu oluusi n'emmere gy'olya oli homesick ate omanyi n'abagenda okukola obwa house girl oluusi siba house girl but teacher bakino obwa house girl tobwagala
teacher basawo ba engineer
yes so ino ebizibu
so tebasobola bukola wano naye ate betegefu bukola
kati biri mixed kati waliyo kye bayita trafficking naye waliyo kye bayita nga ebizibu byofunye nga okola accident oba ki naye ffenna kati tubirampinga wamu tubigatta
So mukulu Abdalla ebimu byabadde ayogerako bizibu bitusanga nga tukola
byonna nga tukola
nga nange wensobola obifuna wano
kati ku bilateral labor agreement engeri bwagambye tukoze ne Saudi Arabia kati njagala kubatega bilateral agreement tejjaako buli kimu kubanga okola contract na wano wokolera okoze contract naye bosi wo olusa kunyizaamu kono gamo waayo oba tusala nelwawo ko oba kiki okitegeera tojja kuba musanyufu all the time kati eyo bilateral yamba kubanga it's a tool that a country of destination then a sending country that we've agreed to do certain things. It is a work in progress. I can assure even the Asian countries, bilateral agreement area 100%. Kati twachitegeera nti no bobo negotiating agreement ngoli Uganda, oli Kenya, oli Djibouti, negotiating n'ensi enagunda amaanyi
ekuli waggulu
sibyangu kyobola bakati government eza IGAD tuli government ezo 8 kati tuwe gas ntugamba tukole negotiation
solid
nga fena
tuli kitole
nga fena tugamba kyekimu kubanga ku Uganda bogamba kyobola bantu ne labor agreements za tulema kubanga bogamba nedda muna Uganda waffe twagala bagende nga kola bagenda wali Kenya ne bajjayo abantu ne batwala okitegeera kati ne bokola labor agreement oba nedda abantu era bajja kola ki bagenda gwenda underground kati ekisingira ddala keep improving kati twekutenga gundi IGAD countries ntino tuogere kyekimu boba tu negotiatinga kati waliyo model what agreement ate n'ekirala ministry ya gender labor and social development bakoze ne gundi curriculum eya pre-departure orientation boba tonna bagenda omuntu akubulirire kati kiringanga nze naawe ne boba tugenda ffe abali gundi educated era omanyako mbuno bwentuka waliyo winter bwentuka waliyo ensi engeri bwebakolamu ebintu byabwe era weetaaga pre-departure n'engeri ki boba tebakusasuddeyo kitu ekikutuukako olagewa kyoba olaba ntino kati ne Uganda terina embassies buli wamu. That's another challenge. Kyobola abantu tukutagana kitya ne East African community mbu omunayuganda bwagenda mu embassy eya Kenya esobola kuyambibwa olaba waliyo ne regional push kati naye ba immigration batandise okuweereza ba immigration atache bakaweereza kugundi 7 countries Abu Dhabi is one of them kuyambako kati wetwogerera juzi just the other day twaina kubanga president yagenda yo UAE kati na declaring bagenda kuzimba at least gundi a center a shelter mbwe kizibu ekitukutako kubanga embassy officials bambi banyigiza tebalina gundi yes kati ne president akitaddewo kati ne ba ministry ya labor babakiriza bagenda kutandika okuweereza ki labor attaches bannaUganda bali abangi kati yo yonna gundi in progress kyobola abantu government yes we have challenges naye at least tukoze tutya tetulinganga bwe twali kati at least kola awareness okitegeera ati nekubulira waliyo kino so some people have benefited out of that ate bannaUganda nabo mbebaza nnyo kubanga they are voicing out manyize mbyagala nnyo bwowulira whether negative or positive njagala ebintu bino bibere nga biri mu mawulire njagala nga biri mu mawulire buli muntu akole ki abere nga bimukwatako nze kinsanyusa nnyo ntino tufaayo kyobola abantu nno omunayuganda if something happens to a Ugandan to see other Ugandans concerned for me it is a good thing that we know tutambulire wamu nafe baba wali ensobi gye tukola otugambe mudo otuwe gundi otuwe advice mwitire kwano uyita wano kola wetuti yes ebyo bye twagala
okay tweyanziza mukulu Abdalla ddala wayogedde ku push and pull factors ezireetera omunayuganda nga nti newoba omutuuziza wansi n'omugamba nti oyo gwe weesibako agenda kukukusa nga tafaayo nsonga ki ezo ddala zongero ziramulira
ensonga ezo mulimu unemployment yokuba nti n'abasomi baginoonya tebagiraba basobola okugumiikiriza ku misaala emitono but still kituuka ne kibasukkako. Then wabaawo low wages byawukana ebyo bibiri waliwo ataguyina wadde wabaawo atagulina
aba desperate.
Yes, so levels of desperation zijja nga ziva ku ebyo ebibiri kossa n'ebintu ebirala family challenges abamu family divorces zeeyongerera nga zirimu levels z'obwavu oba ebintu bwe bityo n'otunuulira behavior wise waliwo ekintu kyentunuulira ndowooza nakyo eggwanga lyetaagaliddeyo likitunuulire nti empisa abaana baffe omutima gw'eggwanga mutono. Yes, bali frustrated ku lwabiri mirimu mitono buli kimu asomye byonna abalanga ebiri uses then empisa awo ne zigenda ne zeetabika mu western ki so nti government ne bweneerwanagana ne social media nakiki bwe tuba tutunulidde ekyo kubanga ezimu ku challenges ezichallenging ate abalina emirimu ebweru ogenda olaba nga zirelated ku mpisa engeri gya respondingamu engeri gyetwalamu oba gya reacting ku situation emuleetera obuzibu ate n'amaliriza ng'alinga ng'atulugunyizibwa abalala ezo mainly zeziri major zenja okusiba kesira ne mindset Ugandans really focused oba tuli awo ngenda kwematizaamu nkomewo. This is where we get unserious naddala abavubuka nti you go abroad you have an opportunity otaddemu ng'oggyeko kyabawala nti bo babateekamu nze nkivumirira. Yes. No, basobola okubateekamu but it kills the sense of responsibility and in one way bwobanga gyo bagamba nti babateekamu ate tebalina liberties they end up in a kafara system where they are tied up then tekikola makulu so bana balinza abeteekamu
bandikyesunze nnyo nti tebateekamu
ekirungi kubanga baba tebalina naye mu mutima ogw'obuntu kitta sense of responsibility kuwa ekyokulabirako. Cases z'abaana abalenzi abali in this racket gye twogerako esinga okubonaabonera ku mawanga oba within the local migration batono kubawala bangi kiva ku mbeera eyo nti omulenzi ono buli waayagala opportunity alina obukwakulizo bungi obusinga ku bw'omuwala kale buleetera omulenzi okuba responsible era omulenzi wakwatira $8,000,000 n'azisaayo ng'alina kyagoba bw'atuuka eri alwana omwana ono afudde mpulira nti abadde ayina eyafudde Dubai. Yes. Yes. Abadde agezaako okunoonya omulimu nga bamugamba n'omugamba ddeekanaga bannaye naddayo nti kati ng'omulaba ng'alagaze yateekamu tannazikola ki ate bw'okomparinga ku muwala ye ne bw'aba nga tewali nsonga asobola okustaako just omuzindaalo n'agamba wano sisulawo kati mu mbeera eyo byawukana sense of resilience gye beetaaga ne bw'aba amigrate nze nga akozesa right yeeyo olusi ntono then ne tumaliriza nga tulina
Madam Agnes bw'abadde ayogera agezezaako okulaga nti ebimu ku bye mwogerako bizibu ebisangibwa ku mulimu naye ng'omuntu teyakukusibwa yatwalibwa mu makubo amatuufu
Madam Igoye
naye nga bino just bizibu
nja kuwakanamu sijja kukkiriziganya naye
ebimu tulaba nnyo
ekyokulabirako
biba bizibu.
Omwana bw'ava wano eri abaana abakukusibwa saagala kukisanitizinga kuba tekiwulikika bulungi nga era akonvinsinga banne ng'akugamba ndi safe ebweru gyendi oyo tolina ngeri gy'ogenda mu challenge nga ddala bw'aba nga ali safe nga gwe gwe watwala mu kampani gy'olinako license ayaziina okusaba obuyambi tabulaba kakati it kills the whole spirit. Kakati omwana agenze mu bintu ebyo ebyokukusibwa bwe yeesanga nga ali mu mbeera eyo eringanga nti sasulwa bulungi n'okusinga gwono gwe wateeka ku ndagaano ate n'omusasula kitono ebyo byonna bireetera abaana bano okukola ki kiri kyogambye nti ebimu tebiba labor disputes weziri challenges abaana bateekeddwa okugumiikiriza ensonga lwaki tubawa ongoing counseling ne pre-departure training bategeere biri adherence delivery bw'oba ofunye olubuto it will reach a time you go through certain stages of pain. How do you maneuver? Do you run away? Do you cross your legs and stop delivering because the pain is too much? No, there is a way you have to take in that. But who to tell these migrant workers kino nti government evaayo neediringa n'abantu ze kino kyo madamu nja kikugamba government olwekola selection mu bintu bino naddala ebiri mu migration yerabidde ate abaana abamigrations for years. Where are the senior migrant workers?
Historical.
How do you track them? How has the government, does government have any program? Before every training they come back here, so they can be a threat to the country. N'abalala bangi waliwo kyoyogedde nti akomawo wano n'ajoga weeks 2 kituufu. Abaana akomawo wano weeks 2 n'atandika eyakomawo ng'agamba siddayo aba ayagala kuddayo. Ki ekimupushing ati neno gy'abaddayo yennyo ate wagaanye. Levels of desperation ziri waggulu, ki ekikireeta? Does government look at that ground thing? Evaako ekintu kino n'ekisorting oba naye egenda mu blame game? Abo abaana bamalaaya bagenda baagala anti munaye tebalina mirimu. No, we have had
Chobola abantu nasokedde n'engambira ddala engeri bwe tusomesa ne bagundi nti no don't blame kubanga baba tebamanyi. Kankubuulire ne boba olabye omwana nga bamumanyi tino malaaya n'ekyo ekigambo sikyagala kubanga teri azukuka ku makya n'engamba bwe nkula njagala kubeera mu malaaya. Ekyo ebigambo saagala nabikozesa nnyo kubanga n'oyo g'omanyi nti abikola n'atambula asobola kubeera exploited. Kubanga asobola genda n'agamba kati neereese ngenda kukola guno naye takugambye nti no gwe ngukola twala ssente oba bwe ngukola neebake n'abasajja bangi. Ebeera exploitation.
Ayagala gukola at her
comfort or at her what? You know, with her rights. Nabo chobola abantu no nebo batusomesa ba law enforcement bichi omuntu gomanyi oba abantu bebamanyi tino omulimu gw'abatakola ngali wano asobola kubeera ki exploited. So tetujudginga. Nadala ne kubalenzi n'abalenzi no teacher gwalabye gwe twasibye life sentence abadde abikola ku balenzi bana balenzi. So we put him for life sentence. Actually, in this year, from the beginning, there are over 300 already. You know,
over
cases.
300.
Yes, 300 over 350. That is ODP. Those are cases, trafficking cases. The only difference is that, you know, when things come to the media, there are those things which evideta supu. You know, that now there is a very bad narrative about balowooza recruitment agencies bonna abakukusa si kituufu.
No, it is the traffickers who are diverting.
Ate naffe we help them.
There is excitement in it.
Yes. Government egezaako.
You know why, madam? Why people are doing that? Last time I was condemning when you came out last time and they said listed a list of companies suspended. I asked myself, Madam has read the list of the suspended companies. What is the alternative? Yes, these companies were given a responsibility. I read
they're about 8. They're about 200.
No, the 8 one. Okay, let it be one. Even if you read one.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That company, Forbes or whatever, she had already deployed 1,000 girls in Saudi. Who is responsible to follow up on them afterwards?
Actually, we gave them, when I came back, I even gave instructions.
I think at this time, that's where we are going to begin.
Yes.
When we come back after this commercial break, we really want to know, after government suspends these companies, what next? Someone was taken abroad, is depending on this company that has been suspended.
Before
What
even the attaches
next?
go.
We really want to know. Just stay tuned when we come back after this commercial break.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Are you guys ready? Okay, let's serve Uganda. As promised, we deliver. We are redefining the social media narrative, asking tough questions and holding your leaders accountable. We are non-partisan and break down having a conversation with Uganda.
We are the mighty drive. We hold debates that give you viable solutions. We bring to you people that Ivora is wanting to listen to. We are gender sensitive and give space to the unheard voices. Not forgetting the quote of the day.
We are live on our social media platforms, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Don't miss the debate behind the wheels and our studios.
I am Edgar Matthew Karuhanga.
Farida Bikobiri.
And Princess Luwe Deledian.
Expect in-depth analysis, credible, factual and authentic information. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Real issues, real talk.
Are you guys ready? Okay, let's serve Uganda. As promised, we deliver. We are redefining the social media narrative, asking tough questions and holding your leaders accountable. We are non-partisan and break down having a conversation with Uganda.
We are the mighty drive. We hold debates that give you viable solutions. We bring to you people that Ivora is wanting to listen to. We are gender sensitive and give space to the unheard voices. Not forgetting the quote of the day.
We are live on our social media platforms, The Alternative Uganda on Facebook, YouTube and Twitter from Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Don't miss the debate behind the wheels and our studios.
I am Edgar Matthew Karuhanga.
Farida Bikobiri.
And Princess Luwe Deledian.
Expect in-depth analysis, credible, factual and authentic information. We are the Alternative Dig Talk.
Real issues, real talk. Jembadde itaita nsanze abasajja nga bagamba lwaki bala batukuula Farida lwaki mukuula abasajja
omusajja baba tebamukudde asanyuka busanyusi n'akuwa ssente kati bw'alaba nga tafunye kyayagala n'alowooza mbu wamukudde aba yazikuwadde oba tewamukudde.
Okay, Lydian, lwaki mwagala abasajja abakulu?
nabo batwagala naye fetubagala lwakuba nti batutegekera future.
Okay, tutegekera future wakise. For more insightful topics, yes, keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk. Remember, Snap Talk airs every Saturday, right from 6 to 7 with your girl Teddy Tenjo, but I never come alone. I come with the two beautiful girls.
Farida Bikobiri.
Lydian Luwe the princess.
Meanwhile, we have a new home. I'm super excited. What do you think of our new home, Farida?
I love it.
I just love everything.
Yes, let's keep it the Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Hey Ugandans, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Dewa Kiki, the Deputy Defense Spokesperson and actually the Deputy Spokesperson for the Uganda People's Defense Forces. I was hosted on Alternative Dig Talk. I encourage all Ugandans that this is the way to go. Always watch, participate, give your views and ask questions on Alternative Dig Talk. Dig Talk, the way to go.
The Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.
Okay. It has been hot here. It has been really hot and very, very fiery. But it is all to bring you the best. We welcome you again from that commercial break. All people that are following us, we really appreciate you. Emmanuel Buyinza, just stay on. Your concerns are being heard, and we are really going to tackle the issue that you really want. Yeah, I see you are highlighting that I thought the topic was on human trafficking. Is Uganda doing enough? That is where we are. We are not diverting from that, and that's what we are handling. We are trying to build a basis so that those who don't even understand the topic can know it. Yes, we thank you. Jeremiah Mchivi, thank you for following. Lilian Luwede, we see your comments are really nice. Thank you, Rogers. Thank you all. Thank you all. In this hour that we have begun, we shall be receiving calls, and you'll be giving us your comment. You'll call us on 0759 132 310. I'll repeat that number: 0759 132 310. Eya Airtel tukubire tujja kuba tufuna ebirowoozo byo waneno mu studio. Enamba endala eri 0789 017 145. Twagala okubanga tufuna ebirowoozo byo, gwali eyo omulabi waffe Mr. Abdalatif, webale naawe kugoberera. Teddy Angel nawe webale kubaako ku mukutu. Era tubebaza mwena ne Mr. Tumuhimbise Norman, mwebale kuwagira, mwebale kubaako. Zino ensonga zaffe era zikwatira kuffe ddala. Bwe tubadde tusiibula, bwe tubadde tugenda okuwummulamu okunywa ku lwendo lw'amazzi, tusigazza omulamwa ogubadde gwokera ddala nga twagala okumanya gavumenti bw'emala okuvaayo n'erangirira nti kampani bweziti ne bweziti tuzisazizzaamu. Bwe bamala ozisazaamu olw'ebikolwa ebiri bye babakoze, waliwo abaana baffe, waliwo baganda baffe, waliwo bannyinaffe ababa baatwalibwa kampuni ezo. Kiki gavumenti kyekola okuyamba abaana ng'abo nga bafunye ebizibu? Let's begin from there.
Now, when a company takes you,
yes,
the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development, your supervisor of the companies. It doesn't mean that when a company takes you, it's only the company which is responsible for you.
Okay.
That's why you see we say we follow the companies, that you're not doing what the regulations are saying. So we are removing you from this, but the responsibility still remains. That government has to have the responsibility.
Okay.
That's why you have embassies. That's why you find that during lockdown, by the way, we brought over 200 people. It wasn't companies who brought. But people forget.
Over 200
Ugandans, they chartered the planes. But that means government does something. Yes. So now, when they deregister a company, it doesn't mean that everybody who was deployed abroad. If you have been deployed in a good place and you're working, there are reasons why they are refusing to what? Removing the license of this company. Maybe some of them, you're trying to extend your license. Then they say, no, we are receiving a lot of complaints here and here. But there are some people who may have gone in your company, but they are working and they are doing okay. They shouldn't be a problem. Continue working.
Even if they register the company.
And even when we are giving those, if you remember during my briefing, I gave even numbers.
We've missed a caller, but you can go ahead and call on that very number.
I gave guidance. I gave the office where to go in case you have challenges. Remember, I even said if the companies have your travel document, can they return it? I don't know. Let's not be selective in only picking the things I said and not because I gave the way forward. That in case this affects you, this is what you should do. So we give that what? You give that guidance. We don't just leave you in limbo. Yes. And even some of the people, government doesn't even end there. They have actually convicted too from those companies. So it's not that they just leave you there. There are cases if you have them. If you're involved in trafficking and there are cases and there are complaints and you're not following, of course they follow that up. But there are some who maybe it is forgeries. You forged the paperwork for extension of your what? Of your what? You may not have committed trafficking, but they are forgeries. It's a different case. So not everybody who is registered or a company which is suspended is engaged in trafficking. Some of them forge documents for registration or do certain, commit other crimes, don't necessarily trafficking. Yes. Yeah.
Does that comfort you?
No, I don't feel comfortable.
Why really?
Look, if I'm to ask Madame or the people concerned, because Madame is not from gender, but the people concerned who are actually promoting human trafficking, I don't want to.
Who is promoting? Be clear. The people from gender.
Who is promoting human trafficking?
Let's be clear.
I hope those are the traffickers. Our callers, you can call. I missed your call.
Tell us.
Who is really trafficking?
Who is trafficking?
Because in the start you also talked about those big animals.
Tell us.
A person who suspends the company and doesn't have a budget from Parliament directed onto monitoring the remaining people that were deployed by the very companies in a foreign land, that person seems to be promoting trafficking.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
How?
Tell us.
It begins from when those you took now begin calling for the one you said in your regulation and is nowhere to be seen. So they are hand-tied. This is where they begin running from where you placed them, and wherever they get a chance to return home, they are deported. And once they are deported, they have got no any other safe zone to go.
What do you mean when they come home? Safe zone where?
A safe zone for instance, the domestic service workers.
Yes.
For Uganda. Uganda's case now has Saudi where they can go safely, where they have a bilateral for girls. Now, when you say you are suspending these companies, these girls, when they come back here through the deportation kind of arrangement, they have been banned from going back to Saudi, or even the system ties them up. So what is the alternative when you say they can no longer fit here?
These are 8 companies out of about 200.
Okay.
It doesn't mean that 8, the others who are in operation, you people, it doesn't need all of them. Let's not leave companies doing things and we don't punish them.
I think that is overzealousness.
Yes,
when
because of course, let us receive this caller. Yes, hello?
Yes, hello.
Yes, your name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, I'm calling from Rwanda and my name is Emmanuel.
Yes, Emmanuel. Thank you, Emmanuel. Yes. Yes.
For the explanation of human trafficking and what is happening in our communities, and whatever she highlighted really happens in our communities. And I think this is a very serious issue to discuss and people to know the harm, especially they are imposing on the girls that are not yet here. She talked about first marriage.
Yes.
Talked about exchange of things for the gains of those people that are poor, especially in the rural areas. So these are really serious issues, and I want to thank you, Digital. You are really doing a great work.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you. If you're also there, you can also call and give us your feedback on this show. I'm seeing Innocent Ainebiona is watching from Rengo. Yes, Innocent, thank you for liking the show. I'm seeing Agnes Joy Natukunda is also watching. I know many of the people are here watching and they are really enjoying the show. You've had the feedback.
Yeah, I mean, thank you very much for that feedback. The most important thing is really awareness. That awareness is for all of us. Okay. All of us. If you're a parent, take care of children. But now the danger we have that even parents are defiling their own children. A teacher whom you then trust is what trafficking and making them pregnant. A pastor, we're a parent. So we are saying don't be so trusting. That if you have a home, these cousins, what, be careful who is around your girls, and even boys. You know, a girl gets pregnant, and you get to know, but boys don't. But doesn't mean that boys are not sexually what? Exploited. It is an area where there's a lot of stigma, and we have to really pay attention to our children. And now that we are seeing more and more girls, can you imagine children are being pregnant? So now those are the parents. So children are parents. So there's going to be that generation, that COVID generation.
The COVID generation.
Yes.
Of child parents.
Let's be prepared. Because now those are children who are abandoned. Can you imagine a child carrying a child?
Will that also
the youngest has been what? 12 years?
12 years.
Are you hearing? A 12-year-old pregnant and gives birth. What is that?
Will that also affect our moral fibers in the near future?
So now we are talking about these children who are kutemba, who are hawking and all that. In fact, went to, I got this in Chotera, in some communities, they actually marry you off by the time you are 6 years. They marry you off, they already get cows in advance. So by the time you are 14, they show you who paid cows for you when you are 6. It has reached that. It's terrible. Then in the landing sites, we found there's a common terminology now they use, that marriage on lease. So they bring girls, they traffic girls at the landing site. Somebody gives you a roof over your head, accommodation, and gives you food. But you perform all the duties of a married person for 2 weeks. And then you are out, then he brings another one. It's called marriage on lease. That's where we have reached as Ugandans.
That's where we have reached, and it is really embarrassing. It's really bad. Before we get back to the other migrant workers issue, I know it is really a matter of your concern. I want us to see what are the likely dangers of trafficking. What will someone face? And why should they guard against such? So we need to know what are the likely dangers of human trafficking.
The likely dangers, some of them are like for instance, there is a organ sale. One can be a trap. I mean, fall into that trap. Your organs can be sold when you are trafficked because you have got no liberties, you are really tied up. People who get pregnant, you know, you get pregnant at a time when you are even not supposed. It really kills your future. You have no future unless supported. Education is affected when you accept these activities. There is really also respect. Some people, reputation, when you go into such activities, your family's reputation and you yourself may be killed. So people who are being trafficked or who fall under this kind of trafficking, whatever, should be sensitized to know and try to avoid such traps. Don't accept your relatives to take you as in, and you don't stand assertively, even if they are your relatives, but at a certain time, you have got to be your own. Therefore, we have to do more sensitization at government. This is where I say, going down on the grassroots. Madam said that they often move down, but to me I think what ought to be done is that involving the very people into this sensitization, the ages that are vulnerable to be part of. And this should be made, the drum should be sounded vibrantly, such that people really see it. More drama, more whatever should be performed to act out this, because people don't know that it's going on in the communities. So if we don't talk about it, it is going to continue. And also perpetrators. Once we arrest a perpetrator, someone has been found guilty of such stuff. What are the policies around to engulf this person? Apart from paying small money and sometimes even bribing, you know, acting like an accomplice, the officers aid into this, leaving the victims totally unsettled. So this in one way makes Uganda having not done enough to sort out the issue.
Actually,
yes.
Because
If you can also take it up.
I do media briefings every Monday.
Okay.
And there are days I'm even announcing how many traffickers have been convicted, how many, they give me a case file. So maybe you've missed, or some people missed that bit. But like I said, it depends on what information you want to consume. Sometimes things which go viral, sensationalizing, you know. So that's why I really appreciate this program, that people can listen the whole, because sometimes you even do a media briefing and the media house just picks a clip. Yes. So I announce all those things. Like I said, over 355, traffickers since the year began. There are people who have been locked up. I've been even quoting people. We got that life sentence. I talk about all the traffickers we arrest in my media briefings. Including even because now traffickers even
just a minute. We have a caller. Yes, hello. Your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, how are you, sir?
Yes, please be a bit louder.
Yes, how are you, sir?
Fine, how are you? Your name and where you are calling from? Yes.
Okay, my name is Calvin Joseph.
Calvin Joseph.
Mr. Joseph, I am here in Busia.
Yes, Joseph.
I want to thank you for the demo, but there are very many issues that you're not addressing. There is a lot of traffic taking place here at the Busia border. Every day, young boys are being trafficked across to Kenya from Uganda. There is nothing taking place from the officials in Uganda. Actually, when I see that level of the job, it gives me hope that something must be done besides just sitting in the studios. We need those people to come on the ground. We need those people to emphasize people. People are being trafficked. Someone sells the land, sells their property to go to Dubai, to go to Qatar, to go to Saudi Arabia, where they also sell off their products, their organs unknowingly. So we need those people to come on the ground. They should not sit in Kampala. They should not sit in those air-conditioned rooms. We need to come on the ground. We need to see what is happening here for the point. The police is very much common. When those cases are reported, they die off instantly. So we need those people to come on the ground. They should get off Kampala. We need them on the ground. Otherwise, the show is good, and thank you for bringing that discussion.
Wow, thank you, Joseph. Thank you for following.
I think that's my question.
That's a very good feedback from you. And Madame Agnes is here. She's just ready to respond to you.
First of all,
as soon as you get off that call. Thank you.
First of all,
First
of all, Joseph, thank you so much for your question, and thank you for the concerns, and you're spot on. Now, there is a challenge on the Busia, not just Busia, but the whole eastern, Busia, Malaba, Rakaka. Now, there are porous border crossings. Actually, during COVID-19, I was at the Situation Room of Internal Affairs. And they did a mapping of porous routes of Uganda. There are over 336. Now, the reason we have porous groupings or that nature, because if you know how the Africa was partitioned, people sat in Berlin. And divided people. That's why you find the late Agra Awori has a brother on the other side, the home on this side. They are border communities. So the challenge is, I'll give you just a very quick example. There's a young lady who was stopped at the airport. They offloaded her and said, you don't have a contract, put your things right. She went and passed Busia. Now in Busia, because we have free movement of persons, they don't present their documents. What is coming out of Jomo Kenyatta is that they are using forged documents. Forged stamps and all that. And sometimes even they can easily go. Because they are getting smarter and smarter at Nkrumah Road. So that border crossing, to man it, because as we speak now, about 2 weeks ago, I was at Busia, where we are talking to the leaders of Busia, Kenya, Busia, Uganda, immigration, law enforcement, to actually come up with guidelines. Before that, I moved, because now we are talking about Karamojong, so it's not even people only to the Middle East, even our Karamojong girls
trafficked to Nairobi, and they are on the streets of Nairobi.
So what we did, I've been to Napak, I've been to Nebelatuk, I have been to Amudat, because we are talking both the law enforcement, we've engaged gateway buses, We've engaged the media, you've seen, that's what took even what to do that investigative. Because the children in Karamoja actually walk, because by the age of 5, actually, they are herding cows. So they walk at night. It's not even the gateway. So to really understand the issues. So we've been into the corridor. So we went to Soroti. I went to Soroti, Palisa, Budaka. And every time I went, you realize every Monday I would come and give you a report that we've been here during all the media briefings. So the reason we do that is that while you're talking about you have to talk about the source. Many of these children, for example, come from Napak. And why Napak? Why are people using Busia? Why Busia? So we wanted the whole corridor of transit, including Tororo. So we've been to all those districts. As I speak now, in 2 weeks' time, we've already drafted and all that. We are going to Moroto. Okay. It's where all the leaders whom we've been talking to, it's going to be a huge conference where there will be members of parliament, everybody, that you people, what is happening? Apart from that, we're also engaging immigration, because immigration has started now, because you have to put a patrol unit. And we are not talking just land, but water. As I speak, they've started even a marine unit. Immigration. Things are happening. Yeah, because we know it is a challenge. That's why you find that during COVID-19, they even brought, the military police to help guard the border. We even went to the border because we realized that when they intercept people who are crossing the border, they would take them to quarantine. But we are saying, not everybody, some people who are going to quarantine are also victims of what? Of trafficking. What can we do? So yes, we don't sit on at least me, I'm not on the air condition, I wish.
You don't simply sit.
But I'm always on the road. One time I even got lost in Karamoja.
Maybe it's a problem, according to what my analysis.
Yes, he's saying there are a lot of girls each
as you
day.
talk now, you are in Kampala, assuming you are in the SC, and you have told us you have been there.
Yes, and it is true.
And you have.
Yes,
and now
I own up.
Right now you are
challenge.
not there. Maybe his concern is that as you leave, things go.
Don't individualize. Because you shouldn't be the one.
I think now
stakeholders.
I think now this is where we should talk about the policies that are being put in place.
It seems, madam,
to control the vice.
You being alone in this.
No, I'm not alone.
How much have you involved the victims to also come and work with you?
I have told you I have 30 advisors who are victims of trafficking.
So
they are advisors.
Maybe the man wants to hear the we language than I was there. So he gets scared. You are in the SC now.
Because personally I was there.
So also involving the people that have been
Yes, I told you I have advisors. The thing is, I can't expose them to camera. Maybe that's what you want, but I can't because I have to protect their identity.
That's true.
There's one thing I failed to understand,
witness protection.
Nixon, before she continues. I heard the president complaining something about to the Minister of Finance, that why would you make decisions before involving those people you want to? The same thing now goes to what we are trying to refer to about human trafficking. Maybe Madam Igoye is doing enough. For me, I often see you. Maybe your name is supposed
because
to change.
I'm the spokes, I go to speak, but on behalf of others.
How many people do follow you and understand you? Because the people who are being trafficked is a different class, a different level.
Yes, our viewers out there.
Let me talk
just
about
the caller. Let's receive this caller before
and then I talk about
the policies. Yes. Hello. Yes. So is this? Thank you for calling. Yenyabo. Yemukulu Abdallah.
Alaikum salam.
Yes, Shamim and Nakauka. Chiddemu bulungi.
Nebagenda ne bakola oba hawusigalo mu mayumba amalala abaana myaka 12, 13 singa bazadde baabwe babeera ne ssente zibatwala mu masomero ne basoma osanga abaana abo tebagenda kukola bwayaaya ate nedda kuba n'abagenda ebweru bakukusa be bayise e Kenya nti abo bo employment wanensusse kati example nze kanjeewe ndi mwana muwala nagenda emakerere n'ensoma ku science emyaka 3 kati guno mwaka gwa kutaano kuva 2017 mwaka gwa kutaano sifunanga mulimu nange ndi ne bana abakazi abagenda ne batumya ebimotoka ne tusuubula mayirungi ne tutwala kayanja ne tutunda mayirungi kati n'omuzadde unemployment kati bwetuuka ku ekyo okamba kamale gagenda nze mu Uganda osanga yabalondemu unemployment nyingi kati ne batunatunulira nga mutwekenga symptoms nga mukikoze mukikozeeko eŋŋamba tusaaba kizigo ku ddagala.
Kale tweyanziza nnyo Shamim okuva e Nakawuka. Shamim abadde atunuulira the pull and push factors ezireetera.
So unemployment is real.
Unemployment.
But being unemployed does not mean that subject yourself to exploitation when you're seeing it. I can be unemployed and poor, but I'll not allow myself, to be sexually exploited. It's like even here. That's why we are saying there are these companies which are registered. They are not perfect at 100%. Because once you go, and also it's not just domestic work. There are also other opportunities, not just domestic work. So every district has a labor officer.
Okay.
They will have an updated list of companies which are what? Which are registered. Okay? Go at least with that one which we know. Not underground. The majority of cases, I can assure you, I sit in that office. When somebody calls and says, oh, mwana wange bakumkusiza what I said, again, the company chimbu nedda.
Mukwanagwe yamutegeezezza.
Let me tell you, the majority of people are not using licensed companies. But licensed companies, they are not, I'm not saying that they are perfect 100%. It's just like your work here, your work environment is not perfect. It's not 100, but there are sometimes you don't feel like coming to work for different reasons. But at least we know if something happens to you, we know where to start from.
There is an address.
Yeah, there's an address. They've deposited some money that if we need to bring you back, we know maybe where they've taken you. We even know the country. I have talked to victims of trafficking who tell me that okukusa ne bantwala nali manyi ngenda ku UAE.
Just a minute.
Gavumenti welcome to Baghdad.
Just also take this caller. Yes, hello. Yes, thank you for calling.
Good evening, how are you, sir?
I'm okay, how are you? Good evening to you too.
Good, thank you. This is Sharada Robert.
Yes, Sharada.
I thank you for the program. Now, I have one question to the lady from the Minister of Internal Affairs. There are so many companies that do really take people outside the country. But what happens, these people, much as they got the licenses from the government and the Ministry of Gender, if you critically look through the kind of work they're doing, they are actually not legit. I don't know if government and the Ministry of Internal Affairs, together with that of Gender, are doing something to see that they really tap into what those companies are doing. Because there are so many that have really swindled people's money, but when you get to the offices, the first thing they have is to display their certificate from the Ministry of Gender to give the impression that they are indeed genuine. But when you get down to what they do, they are actually doing a lot of dubious work. They are swindling people's money, and what they are doing is really not genuine. I don't know if there is anything being done to address that.
Do you mean to say that it's the companies that are involved in trafficking as well, yet they are registered?
Yes, there are very many of them. But one thing they do whenever you go to the offices is to display that license, that they are genuine, they are registered by, they are known by the Ministry of Gender, they are actually licensed to do that. But in reality, when you get to what they do, they are not genuine. Yes.
Okay.
So, my advice...
Thank you, Mr. Serada, on that.
I have an opinion on that.
I think we shall have Mr. Abdallah. He's so much on companies that are registered.
I embrace that thing of licensing companies. This is one best way government tried to curb the human trafficking. Because as you chase away these people who are trafficking, you created companies. So how do you give these companies a fertile ground to do the work rightly? Why I said there is something there is cover-up and also protectionism within the companies and also displacement of responsibilities. Today we have a case booming, and if not, we might take it to court. A company is given a responsibility to be the one in charge of welfare, monitoring, whatever of the girl they have deployed. But this company is hand-tied, and it has no jurisdiction even where it is deploying the girl. The contract itself says the company represents the girl. It doesn't represent the employer.
What do you mean the company is
representing
is tied?
Is tied up because you cannot tell the person who pays you. Again, you cannot check him. I
think let's first also take this caller. I'm taking notes. We shall get back to their concerns. Yes, hello. A good evening to you.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. Kale sebo. Amanya go gatuddire musebo.
Sabakubuuza ku mwami Budala. Ife abali edinde eno tufuna tutya obuyambe bwaibwe era tuba tulina obuzibu ku bantu efe abali mu nsi ed'okulya. N'ekindi ibo abo omuntu bayamba muntu kika ki afunye obuzibu ng'ali mu nsi ed'okulya. Tukirimya ino pulogulaamu eno nkalamu era tubaye tusuubula pulogulaamu zino okuba abantu abasinga batuwa kunama ayi pulogulaamu eno era twegeresa ebintu kamaala eyanziza nze Ngoye Bashiri wano Ejinja.
Okay, Ngoye Bashiri okuva Ejinja. Tukwaniriza webale kukuba naye alina ensonga zakonyeeko naye ezo tujja zitukako ndowooza mu maaso ago oli kumpi okumaliriza. Tusooke tuddeyo ku nsonga eno ya companies zibeera licensed.
Companies, it's good to license them, but is there a system that checks their work, and do they even have capacity or audacity to assist the one they are deploying as it is assumed or clearly decorated in the documents that they are supposed to monitor, to take care of this girl? Do they really have this capacity, or it was assumed? Did the government displace its responsibility as it does try to fight hard? I've seen Madame Igoye always trying. She deserves an award alone. But the standard,
she has received
this is
the
what
award.
I've seen about human trafficking.
She has received the award.
Yes, and what I know, she's supposed not to work alone, but government is supposed to support.
I don't work alone. Let's
It's supposed to support the organizations and all other bodies dealing in this, or who can try to do the sensitization or support her work. Same way, these companies, as they export labor, are these systems put for them to monitor and follow up those they are taking? Are they competent? If you tell me that a company A is given a job order of 500 girls, how do you, I want to ask gender ministry to tell us.
You know,
unfortunately,
one thing I know, when you are not in the studio, people will lump all the blames because you are not there to defend what? to defend yourself.
So gender is not.
But let me tell you what I know about gender.
Yes.
But first of all, you'll bring gender.
Comes out on issues because when you suspend companies, it means you know about gender.
Yes, that's true.
Yes,
These are companies under gender.
No, that's what I'm saying.
They work in tandem. They work in tandem.
When you praise me, no, I don't work alone. It's wrong. So it's Ministry of Gender which deregisters.
Your role is to come out and announce.
Yes, so that means they are doing something.
Okay.
Yes.
We appreciate.
So let's not. I am not the superwoman.
Okay. He raises issues of checks.
Now, Ministry of Gender is responsible to oversee. Okay. So actually, you find what and bring. And I even said earlier that they've even been requesting on labor attaches. And right now they've given, the reason why they've given them permission to deploy is because they are seeing that gap.
I was delivering my point home.
I know. Then I don't want us to bad
in the way.
He had to.
You cannot tell me which system does ministry or whoever has to use to check these numbers. If a company deploys 500 girls, when does this job order end? This is where system trafficking now comes in.
Okay.
That one can even deploy beyond. You know, they just keep on. I don't know even how they clear within themselves, but there is a possibility, and we have had girls landing in Oman and other areas going through a licensed company.
But their companies have been always advertising that we have jobs in Oman.
I've been at the embassy and I've had complaints. Girls there brought to the embassy, asked, and to check, they did not appear anywhere. But they were taken by, which means they put on the same uniform and they go into that.
But that's why we want the public to report. Just like you said that, you know that there are people, what. Give us that information.
When we are giving this information, sometimes you make us also
okay, chogere wano so that everybody yes, you know, we want chobola, like me when I go to the field, I will say it the way it is. Whether it is as government who are doing what or whatever, I say it how it is. That's the only way we are going to solve this problem.
Madam, just a minute. Chogedwa nyonti, some of the people that own companies are within the ministry. Perhaps the Ministry of Gender. And if people who are working within the ministry are now also having this company, isn't that a conflict?
So bring it out. Mutubulire, for example. Yes, I'm not the one who licensed it, so I will not even what. Muchogere. You say this about somebody in government. About what. But just say.
But so madam, you had even a court is struggling to see how they can protect victims. Victims who have evidence.
Who have evidence? Who are saying?
So here we can't protect the witness now.
Since we can't protect the witnesses, and you know, when we are trying to fight for the rights of the affected victims, we have to protect them, cover them from the danger.
All of them.
Actually, there are people with evidences. If at all you accept to work with the entities, organizations, and bring crows, these workers, the people, the trafficked crows to you, they are going to give you this. I told you I have.
At a distance, I told you I have 30.
If I'm to ask a question, but that are not enough for big.
You are realizing traffickers are having a good time. You know, when you throw things like that, they are happy.
Traffickers see.
Yes. Me, by the way, I'm even on groups. Where the victims are not even just Uganda.
But there is cover up.
Yes.
There is cover up. We shouldn't street talk. The issue is getting hard.
That's what I told you.
And hot.
I told
this is why the caller is telling us.
I told you, let's define who is the trafficker. I told you traffickers are at all levels.
Still, yes, they are at all levels. We did not reject that. This is why we are telling you there is trafficking within labor externalization, which must be accepted, and how to resolve it is what we are trying to state.
Yes, Madam Igoye. Do really companies still need to be cleaned up? You said they're not 100%.
Yes. All of us continuously need cleaning up.
Who does the checking? Who does the checking?
That's why you find the 8 deregistered.
We missed the caller, but you can call again.
Hanging, Mr. Nixon. I don't believe that. The audience needs to hear what
I thought you had delivered.
I thought you had delivered. I was hijacked.
It's okay. just a minute. Just a minute.
Okay.
Yes, hello.
Hello?
Yes, our caller. Komyewo Shamim.
Yes, just alternative ndabye muwandika bakiyita obakibatirango namugamba Uganda nizakitwande in Dubai with a dead person. Kati njagala okulo ndowooza nti bannayuganda tutasula omusolo gavumenti eyinza kuyamba etya bannayuganda ababali stranded n'omuntu omutu okubayambako okulaba nti that dead person is brought back here. Mbadde njagala okumanyako.
Kale Shamim, weebale olw'ensonga eyo. Mazima ddala ntuuse okusasira kwaffe eri famire ya Fred Ndawula munnauganda eyafiiridde e Dubai. Abamu ku mmwe bannayuganda n'abalala mwalabye dda ku bifaananyi ebitambula ku mutimbagano nga musajja wattu obulamu bwaweddemu nga yafiiridde ng'ayiwa musaayi. Obulamu bwaweddemu. Ensonga nyingi ezibadde ku nsonga ya Fred, naye oboolyawo tujja zitunuulira mu maaso kaawo twongere okutunuulira ddala ekinyusi kyennyini. Shamim, weebale olw'ensonga eyo okukoma ogizza. Mazima ddala kitulaze nti ogoberera alternative digital. Ensonga eyo nayo tujja gitunuulira. Ensonga zammwe zonna nga tetunnaba kuva wano eno, zonna tugenda kuba tuzaanukula. Omukulu Abdallah abadde akyemulugunya gy'alina ensonga zezayagala okugusa zigguse tugende mu maaso.
Okay. Gavumenti bw'evaayo n'eyamba omunnayuganda okugenda ebweru okukola oba nemuwawe entuufu tusuubire eyo we erina kuba complete ate it must also subscribe to the standards, the international labour standards, not only confining itself onto administration or the recruiters, but observing the principles of recruitment. That is when you are taking away the human trafficking. That is the alternative. Kati alternative when we wera bikobo biba ntebajja kujja bajja sigala bagenda. So kino ogenda kikola otya? Did you look at what is being complained on the other side? Who are the complainants? What are they saying? Body part of what they are feeling or babalowooza kikwata ku ggwe. Nti a girl is taken to Saudi but amanyi bikwata ku Madam Igoye yantwala yenanyini company. Era gwe bajja okukwata. Gwe gamba bugambi nti yantwala. Na Madam Igoye ajja akola ki? Ng'amuggyako license. Kati enkola eyo ereese obuzibu. Nti gwalowooza nti oyamba omwana ono naye toyina alternative, toyina budget gye wassaayo ku oyo gw'ogamba nti ajja sigalayo nga talina kampani eno gy'oggyewo teriwo.
So companies tuzireke?
Nedda kampani entuufu okubaawo
naye ekyo nno kirungi ezisobezza ezikukusiza abantu kuba wayogedde n'ogamba nti there is system trafficking oli bamuwa olukusa lw'abantu 5 n'asonsekamu abalala kitegeeza abalala aba abakukusiza ayinza n'obatuusa mu mawanga agatali mu biwandiiko. Kampani ezo
nja kuwa bbiri nti ku bibiri bakoleko kimu, either baddire nti kampani zino tezirina buvunaanyizibwa budde eri gavumenti obwa protection n'okumonitaringa nti ne bwe omukutte trafficking teri effect ku mwana waffe. Ekyokubiri bw'obanga osazeewo kale basigaze obuvunaanyizibwa obwo teekayo system n'abakozi bo mu buli kibuga obasasule tobalekera muwalabu buli wobalekera omuwalabu eyo compromise abaana babakubira ku maofiisi nga bamugamba gwazi sasula ze nakuteekamu ndyoke nkute. Kati ebintu ebyo bireeta obukyayi ku kino ekirungi kye tupromotinga omwana ekyawa n'agamba kamale gagenda yonna gye nsanze. Kati human trafficking gye tugendamu n'okudda na wano ne basigala nga bali desperate. So government bwebanga terina tukakasa nti ku $900 million zeefuna okuva mu Middle East alone nezikomyawo wano tennatoolako wano parliament kuzzaayo ku kimonitaringa bannauganda wali bilateral then ekootakoota mu gaalumonde ku kino ekyokucontrollinga human trafficking. They have not done enough. Bwobanga onoogigira the basic strategy was promoting safe labor migration supporting recruitment
through companies.
Katanti zino okwogerwako ebitamu bye zikola.
Is it not through companies? Madam Igoye agambye twogera ku bikyamu ne tuzikwata ne tuzistoppinga ne tuzisuspend.
Then you keep improving. I told you
me here.
Yes.
I do not blame Madam Igoye because of suspending companies.
Okay.
Naye what I'm saying, engeri gye mukikolamu eri overzealous. You forget nti temuyina structure. Do it when you also equip.
Now that's why I want to bring
just a second. Let us receive this caller. Bannauganda tubaterewo ekyokulya. Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes. Kale nnyabo nawe weebale kulaba.
Weebale sebo. Nze nakanjako okuva n'emeruweru.
Nakanjako. Nakanjako ye nnyabo.
Mukulu Nixon, program yenjagadde nnyo. Naye mbadde njagala kubuuza omukyalo oyo ekitongole mwakolera balinako abantu ababayambako baku nsala ez'enjawulo abakola ku kyokukuma okulaba nti abantu babo tebakukusibwa. Then ensonga eyokubiri nzize esisse ate abantu bano abamu babatwala misana kigambibwa nti abamu babatwala misana naye nga balaba enguzi esisse olowooza naye tereetedde okuba nti abantu bano beyongedde okubanga bakukusibwa. Kubanga abapoliisi bano ebiseera ebisinga babawa kasente katono nnyo ne bamusa abantu bano bamuyisaawo.
Ne bamuyisaawo.
Omukyalo oyo ndagala nabyo abitutangaazeemu.
Kale Madam Nakanjako.
Benkola nabo
Yes, bwokola nabo ebitongole byokola nabo ebitaasa abannauganda.
Weebale nnyo maama by'obuziza. kati nga bwe nabagambye Trafficking Persons Act ya 2009 kati section 21 yawa minister olukusa etekayo office eyo office monitoringa then oversees the counter trafficking and the implementation of the act. Kati your office works with the responsibility of counter trafficking lies on 15 MDAs, ministries, departments and agencies. Si kitongole kimu kyokka ekola ki ekikolako
trafficking.
Kati mwezo agency ekisokera ddala aba immigration bebakuuma gundi ensalo borders bebagaba passport ministry gender labor and social development nekola ki nekola license company ministry of foreign affairs nebera ku embassies ministry of local government ina responsibility ministry of education kwa wali abakukusa ne bagamba babatwala okusoma wali abatwala okuba akapiira okitegeera so ministry of education intelligence eso nekola police investigations ODPP office of the director of public prosecutions kati nze kyobola abantu no bwe registering nga gender mubimbi nenga baba mukoze wochi kati ne muleta nenga baba no bakoze ki register kyobola abantu no bogamba monitoring bichi of course I know they have things in place but I don't want us to talk about them gate bali wano nabo bekole ki benyonyoleko kuma waliyo bebakola ki bakola kyobola babuli kitongole waliyo ekikola ki
kitongole 15
si kitongole ki kimu kyokka so let's not lump kati mu bitongole ebo tugambe kati gwokozewo kiwano kubanga mbeera mu task force kubanga tosobola kimala ekyo kukusa abantu tosobola kimala
ndoza ne kino nakyo kitwalire olumu bwe wayobadde oyogera wayogedde ku porous borders ate ezo ziri ddala mu ministry yo
immigration immigration
kakati porous borders wamenye nyingi nnyo ati mwe bayita okukukusa abannaUganda kiki government kyekoze ku porous borders
and it is two ways one that awareness is important kubanga ne bwobeera wali ng'omuntu bamukokinze najja n'akulimbalimba mbwa ngenda wano ngenda bugenzi waliyo free movement of persons and free movement kati bogamba ngenda
wali kugula ya time
kati gwe balimba ne tukola ki even if we closed up erogenda kulimba kyobola abantu we have to put strategies kati government ekosa strategies ezo kati prevention eri very key owulidde unemployment koze tukyachobola ba parish model ebyo byonna byakola ki byakugezaako ebyo byowulira ne baba muli mu challenges
parish model kale
parish model awareness netukugamba munange basobola kuyita ku mutimbagano beerawo wekuume boba ogenda siibulako boba kiki gendera mu gundi eyo channels boba ofuna passport baba kulimba eyo yonna ebeera kya awareness kandi tubeera ku protection boba kikutuuseeko tetugamba nti olaba akugamba tugamba baba kikutuuseeko katukoze tutya kyobola bane ba NGO batuyamba nabano ba migrant voice bayamba manyinyo abannaUganda ababeera ebweru.
I think this will be our last call. Let's pick it. Yes, hello.
Katonda nyandi esimu naita mukoza mubalo kuweleza mukulu Nixon
kale sebo
katono nye kyembadde njagala okubuuza okwogera ku nti kindabikira ng'oba olyawo tiimu za gavumenti oba ezisinga nti tebalina bukugu bumala tebatendeke
obukugu
yawo genda kweta okulabirako nze omwaka guli oguwedde naliko e Burundi nga tujja mu baasi amazima ng'omukyala alina omwana wa myaka nga 10 naye ng'omwana we byaddala nga omuyita mami kukimuagana nakasanyu naye olabika ku booda y'e Burundi n'e Rwanda nga tuvudde mu baasi abasirikale b'e Rwanda ne bagamba omukyala nti ono omwana kyokubanja akuyita buyisi maama ekikakasa nti wuwo nabwekityo mugenda kuddayo temugenda kwinjira mu ggwanga lyaffe owulira nga bamugamba balage ba certificate n'ebirala ebiwandiiko eby'enkizo naye Uganda yatunga bwe mukimanyi eyo mutaala no mukimanyi wana abantu balina obuvumu obwo n'obutendeko obwo oba akaana bekakabamu bakanyiza n'okukaba nga bakakookiri ne kakaba ne bagamba bambiyitawo so I think bakyalina omulimu gw'amaanyi okutendeka ebitongole byabwe okubeera certificate nga kyewuunya ekyokulabirako kyenalabira eyo kati kimanyi ne mu Uganda kisoboka otherwise naye bali bambi kuweereza yeno Masaka
kale tweyanziza nnyo omanyi madamu Igoye afunye ebibuuzo bingi n'ensonga nyingi ez'okuba nga yanukula tusigazaayo eddakiika ntono nnyo okuba nga tufundikira programu yaffe mu ddakiika zino zennyini entono ze tusigazza ensonga ya Porous Borders ogyogeddeko naye kirabika ogamba nti ne bwe tunaggala still tulina okukozesa strategies endala professionalism ng'omukubi ono asembeyo bwagambye nti abantu b'otendeka are they so strict to that extent that they can detect that this person is being trafficked?
Anti kati ebyo bijja kukusomesa kati right now tutegeka ne curriculum egenda ku training academy kubanga it is on something which is ongoing njagala mumanye nti waliyo ne trends bosomesa kino baleta mu ekikodyo ekipya kyobola abantu no it has to be what ongoing kubino boleta akakodyo akapya olusi omuntu akekengera nakaba oyo ayisewo naye nga akakodyo ki kapya kyobola abantu no abamu omuntu ayagala kubba sente atisi abamu ne bakola ki kyobola ba every time I have to announce that kati obukodyo batandise okukoza buno na buno kubanga we have to continuously what do that so kubanga nabo tebebase ojukira lockdown bwe twatandika zoom nabo batandika zoom kati abakukusa abantu ne batandika sexual exploitation wale kye bayita cyber sex kati kyekiri kati it's not moving you kati webcam eri awo kati abaana nabo babatendekerera ku ebyo kyobola abantu no n'abazadde tulina bagamba omwana tomulekera mbw asoma kugundi beera awo nga bw'asoma kubanga ne ba traffic ababa bakukusa awo bagira kati kati you don't have to sexually exploit one omukozesa nga ali kuki kamera so okusomesa it has to be what ongoing kyobola baku traffic nokozesa strategies ezo prevention bwe kikutuuseko tumukoze tutya kubanga abamu bambi bajja nga bali they have diseases okitegeera kati ne trafficking we want to let the public know that ekosa abantu bangi kukosa ng'omuntu ne government kubanga government kimukwatako kubanga esente ze bafuna ku trafficking babikozeseza bitu ebikyamu ne government kyobola ne government bimukwatako nnyo kubanga bigenda mu security bigenda mu money laundering.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'm running short of time. You had the question that you need to respond to. What does Migrant Workers Voice do and how can people be helped? What kind of people do you help?
Before getting to the answer, I want to first...
Just do that within 1 minute.
I want Madame Igoye maybe to be bold enough to tell his government or our government. I mean,
it's your government. You also be bold. Tell the government about
our government. But because I'm not working in government, that's why I said
no.
Your minute is counting.
Yes, so our government, that you really need a big budget and also all the donors to support you build a robust monitoring system or follow-up system to sensitize and do whatever, than going into the protectionism or representing what is already you have done really enough. So we need more. Uganda has not done enough to stop this vice. If we are to stop it, they need to support you. I don't want me to see you have officers on districts who've never stood up in any media even to talk about this. I only see you. If they do, me, I don't see them. But
because I speak
because she's the overall.
All right. Okay. I want to answer the question.
Migrant workers, people are concerned. Those in Ginger, they want to know what they do.
Okay, Migrant Workers Voice is a voice for the voiceless. we rise up to to support the voiceless migrant workers, the vulnerables, and also advocating for the rights of those who are safely migrating. For instance, rights to collective bargaining, advocating for associations to be there, calling on government to appreciate them, because members in the diaspora really have a responsibility and something they contribute to this country. You cannot just insert anything on them. They can contribute. You've seen this case of our boy who died. We are calling on everyone, please, to where you're calling at, where you're calling at. But if they had an association, I want the way the president made a gesture in Dubai when he donated some money to an association there. Yes. And he said, please use this money to monitor your colleagues and bring them on. But you see, Minister of Gender is ignoring that. When you talk over the word association, they want to go company and government. This is where they are sweating the plasma. Everything is on them. Even if a migrant worker must know what to do, does not have a liberty to be checked. He's always blamed, or he's blaming this side. So I want to tell migrants, whoever you are, migrant workers' voice is there for you. You come to migrant workers' voice when you have issues concerning migration, and also migration for work. Also, if you have issues, you are being trafficked, duped that you're going for work, come to migrant workers' voice. You have a support. You have our voice for you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Abdallah. Indeed, government is doing enough.
No, it's not enough.
It's not enough.
Of course, that's why every day you have to keep improving on things. Where we are right now is not where we used to be. So I'm even glad that the issues of trafficking are being talked about. We have a national action plan, national referral guidelines, and we've been moving around the country, including local governments, to make sure that we are moving together, because we want to reach where at acceptable levels. So the issue is continuous improvement, but also moving with everybody, that all of us. So that's why, you know, migrant voice, you know, as a Ugandan, what is your responsibility? It starts from you, that get information, not just move, you know. So it's like that, you know, from the right people, follow the procedures, the processes. Don't just get excited, you know, because somebody is saying free ticket. That's a red flag. Follow the processes and migrate, you know, safely. There's nothing wrong with going abroad, but go in a safe way. And we are in it together, and we have to be united as agencies, as a people, as Uganda, but also with our neighboring countries.
Okay, just a word of appreciation to our viewers as well.
Yeah, first of all, I want to appreciate you. Thank you so much for all those who have called. Just to let you know that we really welcome this feedback. So the feedback, whether positive or negative, whatever it is for our betterment and continuous improvement. So thank you for watching. I know it's not going to be the last time, because we've not really touched on so many of these questions. They've just been, you know, so much, and I like it that you've been overwhelmingly, you know, supporting and being interested in this. And please, you know, continue, because you have to respond to all those questions that haven't been responded to. Thank you, viewers.
That's your last.
I want to say thank you to the people who have been watching us. The migrant workers, wherever you are, just know the struggle continues. We have to fight for our rights. Wherever you are, please keep discipline, be mindful, change your mindset, as well as knowing your rights. If you don't know them, one can take advantage. You who is in Uganda, you haven't yet gone there. We are telling you from the point of experience as migrant workers. That's why we are here to talk about human trafficking. We know what it takes. We have been trafficked before, and we know what it feels. So if you accept to go there, then you are gone. I was telling Madam Igoye that even migrants traffic their colleagues right from here. We wire. So please stop it.
Thank you all our viewers. It has been so nice having you. Mwebale nnyo, mwebale mwena bakubya amasimu, mwebale mmwe abataddemu obudde bwammwe ne mulaba programu eno. Programu yaffe The Diaspora Link. Omwerezaawo Nixon Segawa. Programu ekyagenda maaso ku YouTube kwetuli, ku Facebook kwetuli, comments leka zisigale nga zigenda maaso. Ebibuuzo ebimu ebitasobodde kubanga biddibwamu wano ku mpewo, Madam Igoye yeeyamye ajja kugenda mu inbox abiddemu. Ne ku mukutu gwe nnyini gwaffe agenda kuba addamu ebibuuzo byo. N'olwokuna olujja tuli wamu naawe, tosubwa. Thank you.
Alternative Dig Talk. Real issues, real talk.